Aaron is not feeling well. When did you hear about that, and what's going on with him?
Good layman's term, he's sick. And I talked to our trainer this morning, and instead of getting him around the guys, we sent him to the doctor, and off you go.
Is he here today? Is he here tonight at the arena?
He's in quarantine.
Okay.
He's not around the guys. No reason to get everyone else sick.
Okay.
Sounds like the flu or something?
Sick.
Sick.
Not going diagnosed, sick.
So his availability for tonight is?
Inactive sick. He's so sick that he's inactive.
Okay. Now what?
Off we go.
With whom in his spot?
Tobias will start at the 3 position. Small forward. What else can you call that position? 3-man, wing. What else we got?
Swingman?
Swingman, nice. Like it.
Jacque, you designated in Salt Lake. Just Jerry Sloan is going to have his banner hung up by the Jazz 3 years after his retirement. Just sorry if you already talked about him this morning, but some thoughts from you on your first NBA coach.
Special. The reason I do a lot of things I do today because of him. Credit that organization for teaching me how to be a professional. I had great teammates, and I saw how he led us as a coach. His demeanor every day, his want every day, his drive, his loyalty. I'll never forget it. When I was done playing, while I was playing, I always told him I appreciated him, and if I see him tonight, I'll tell him again.
How do you plan on compensating without having your leading scorer out there tonight? Do you change offensive schemes, or is it just insert player here to pretty much take Aaron's spot as far as scoring opportunities that he was getting?
Batter up. Your number's called. Be ready to go and do your part. I'll tell the guys before the game, I'm not asking them to do anything more, anything less that they've done thus far. No one has to force shots, so I think they're going to get additional shots. We'll play how we play and do what we do.
How would you assess Tobias' progress in the last 3 games?
He's still, I talked about this early. You got to think about Tobias from last year. At the end of the year, we didn't have Jameer, we didn't have Glenn, we didn't have Aaron. He hadn't even played with Glenn. And, to miss basically this entire year thus far besides, a few games. He's learning to play with his teammates. He's learning where he fits in with us and how the team fits around him as well. So there's a lot of room and a lot of time for us to grow together. And it's going to take some time for him to get back in a comfortable rhythm and understand his role on the team.
Is his role that much different than it was at the end of last season when there was no Aaron or Glenn or Jameer?
Oh, I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think just how the basketball was in his hands, the amount of shots he had taken for us, there were different element. That's why I treat each team differently. This is an entirely different year than last year, and that was my first message to the guys going into this year. This is an entirely different team, whether it was minutes, whether it was shots, whether it was roles, completely different. Those will develop on a year-to-year basis.
With Aaron out tonight, it would seem that Maurice is kind of one of the next batters up to fill some of those minutes. He's been kind of in and out of the rotation for the last couple of weeks. What have you seen from him as he's kind of working his way through things and trying to get back some playing time?
There are going to be pockets in the season where some guys won't play. Whether you're taking Jason Maxill right now, who started for us the first how many games, there's pockets where guys will not play. There's just not enough minutes. I will always be upfront and fair and honest with every single guy. That's the way I approach it. If I've told you, believe me, I've told them before I've talked to you guys, because I don't coach through the media. So he knows where we are as he and I is in our time and his time on the floor. So he's fine.
Coach, Victor made a nice defensive challenge at Dang that might have saved the game for you. He had a Overall, what do you think? He's played a quarter of a season now. What have you noticed about him coming out as a player?
Well, I think he's a really intelligent young man, and I think that's the one thing that really stands out is that we can do something in shoot around, and he can implement it in a game, and whether it's offense or defense. And to have a challenge of guarding Luol Deng in the fourth quarter when we need to stop was huge. A lot of that was instincts, his ability to defend the basketball at multiple positions. And that just comes from effort and this overall competitive spirit. And sometimes that cannot be taught. And that's what makes him a joy to be around.
He came in with a reputation of a guy that could be a really good defender. He's lived up to that so far, huh?
He's taken on the challenge. I think he sees the speed and athleticism a little different from college. You play a team like Oklahoma City, and you see that, how long Durant is, how quick and explosive Westbrook is. But at the same time, he doesn't back down. And if he finds failure, he responds immediately, whether it's the difference between not having as many turnovers as he did in the second half of Oklahoma City, or going game-to-game basis.
Kind of speaking on that level, the last two games I've noticed that he's been playing without a kind of secondary point guard, without Etuan or Jameer or Ronnie in the lineup with him. Are you feeling more confident with him, or as a true point guard, or do you feel like now is the time to give him more responsibilities in that role?
We'll continue to push him at a pace that I think makes him comfortable. There'll be times where there aren't secondary, playmakers out there or ball handlers out there, and there'll be times where there are. I'll continue to get a feel and a sense how he's progressing, and at the end of the day, we want him to be successful. We want our team to be successful while he's learning along the way.
Hey, Coach, just one quick bigger question on Aaron. I know wins and losses, that's always number one, but just maybe talk about maybe not the respect Aaron's getting maybe on all-star ballots and stuff, or the bigger picture top 10 scorer in the league. How does that affect him at all? Or just maybe talk about his overall season, being one of your main guys this year, and not getting maybe the respect on the national NBA level.
I won't talk about the all-star stuff, but what I will talk about is he's been probably our most efficient and consistent player this year, from training camp till today. I think he really took a challenge in the offseason of making his game efficient, and also challenging his teammates and having a resolve for himself every day. And we talked about this a little bit last game, after losses, of being able to respond and have a practice habit and also a playing habit. And I think that's helped him be consistent for us.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it.
You've been hosting more shoot-arounds on game days of late. What went into that change, really, from none at all early on in the season to now you're hosting shoot-arounds? Is it because of maybe sluggish starts? Is it more of a comfort thing with players? What was behind that?
I took the first 20 games, and on game 21, I did a morning shoot-around, and it might be the next 20 games. So I diagnosed for the first 20 games, and now we have morning shoot-arounds. So on the 21st game, I had a morning shoot-around. Everyone good?
Thanks, Coach.